I rub my hands like I'm
Yo.
Birdman.
Yo.
I rub my hands like I'm Birdman.
Put some respect
Cowboy Bebop shirt.
on his name.
Cowboy Bebop shirt. Shout out to anybody out there who know about this. Yeah. Listen. Welcome to another installment of the dopest new podcast that you just subscribed to, hopefully. The Saturday Showdown.
Saturday Showdown, baby. Welcome. Before we get started,
I'm Puffy. That's Chip. He's awesome. I'm awesome. So you should give us 5 stars. We don't want 4. We don't want 3. We don't want 2. And we definitely don't want 1. We definitely don't want 0. We want 5.
Now we want 5 fucking stars. And
that's exactly what we want. We demand it, actually.
Yeah, it takes nothing to hit the like button.
We
the
subscribe
button too. There's literally it can hurt.
There's no reason not to. If you're gonna like, you might as well subscribe.
It won't hurt you at all.
And you might as well leave a little review. We love to hear about what we're doing and how we're doing. We love it.
Yeah.
I'm just adjusting my mic a little bit. Shouts out to the GOAT once again. Today we're talking Maction. Maction. I love this conference, man. You know this from last season. I love this conference because Tuesday and Wednesday football, baby. It gives me something to bet on. It's also usually good action in the MAC. Typically, high-scoring games are in the MAC. Typically, there are some future NFL receivers, running backs in the MAC. A couple of DBs come up out of here. A lot of talent comes out of the MAC. A lot of transfer portals to bigger G5 schools come out of the MAC. So I have a soft spot for the MAC. The MAC, when I was doing my research, I don't know if you got the same feel, kind of reminded me of the Mountain West. The good was really good, but then the bad was just horrific.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're gonna dive right into the MAC. I got some pretty good tidbits about each team. This team was really not. These teams weren't as hard as the Mountain West Conference was to get some info. Some teams in the Mountain West, it's really hard to just find really good info, but there are plenty of nuggets in the MAC. So we're going to get into that. But before we start, I would like to shout out to my son, Sage. Turned 4 today, so I'm rocking these shades. These are his shades. I'm rocking them on the show.
Big man.
I like the aesthetic of the shades with the boonie and the cowboy b-boy hat. We're just bringing something different every show. Last show, I didn't have the energy. I was a little under the weather. I'm not under the weather. I'm here. I'm present. I'm ready to go, and I got the glow like Bruce Leroy. So let's get it. I love the
energy right now. I love the energy right now.
I didn't have it last episode.
No, man, you were fine.
I didn't like it.
Come on,
I just didn't like it.
Famous real quick. All right.
Hey, listen, that's what you get on the Saturday Showdown. You get love, big love for all the ladies in our lives or in your life, the special ladies. Make sure y'all let them know. So when you look at the MAC, right, we're not going to go in order by West and East. We're going to go by the odds to win the conference, and we'll talk about who we have winning the West and the East while we go along. So when we start off, we got to start off with the Toledo Rockets in the West. 9.5 is the win total. They're plus 180 to win the conference. It is plus 142 to the over and minus 176 to the under. You better jump on that now before it changes. In net TARP, they are 6. There are 3 even on both sides, so a pretty good TARP rating. DeQuan Finn makes his return at quarterback. They return 2 of their receivers, top leading receivers. Their leading rusher, 4 out of 5 offensive linemen, The entire secondary returns, and they were ranked 12th nationally last year. 4 all-conference players total return. I'm just saying, man. Jason Candy, he has a plethora of talent. 16 total starters return, and
this team is stacked.
They are stacked. The one thing that gives me pause, and not too much pause, is that 5 out of their 8 conference games were decided by 1 score. Typically, you have some regression in that category, but with a team with this amount of starters returning, this amount of experience, this head coach, I like Toledo to win the West.
I got Toledo too, man. I think this team is just stacked, man.
I know it's chalk.
They had a decent year last year. Won a bowl game, won the conference, and I mean that's all you can really ask for, dude. Like you said, the top 20 in total total defense last year, and in top 15 in passing, like you were saying. I got written down 12. That might have been a not great. I don't know if that's accurate that I wrote down, but when I looked it up, they were like top 15 in passing defense. I mean,
in the return, that whole secondary, the whole secondary, not half, not like a portion, the whole thing. You got to think that continuity. Playing in the secondary, communication is key. When you got guys out there who just know what's going on around them, it just makes your job easier. It makes you be able to play faster. Makes you that much more confident, and it also gives your defensive coordinator a lot of flexibility to do different things and to trust you guys differently.
Yeah, I also like that they have their entire offensive line coming back, and then they're adding a brand new Rob Orr. He's coming in. He's a former 4-star.
All the hog mollies are returning.
So I'm like, yeah, dude. So I'm like, they're poised. There's a lot of teams that you could say that they're poised for a good year. Are they going to have the good year? We're going to find out. But poised, they should, we should expect some good things from Toledo.
Definitely should expect some good things from Toledo. Like I stated, we'll get to the rest of the teams in the West. I can go ahead and tell you right now, I don't have a surprise team winning the West. I do have Toledo coming out of the West. As far as the win total goes, I struggle with this one. 9.5 is a high number, but for a team with this much experience, I just had to say I do think this team exceeds the 9.5 win total. Some places you can get it at 9, but I do think this is a 10-win team.
No, I 100% agree with you. If not 11, I only have them losing like once, and maybe an asterisk in there one game, but I don't know, man. This could be a good team this year, man.
Who do you have them losing to?
I got them at Illinois, week 1, at Illinois.
See, that's tricky because I think they could get Illinois. Tricky. I really do.
You think they can get them?
I do.
At Illinois.
Illinois lost a lot last year, so
yeah, I just don't see it. I don't see a big time loss. They lost to Buffalo last year, but they got them at home this year. So I'm going to chalk that one as a W. They go at Bowling Green. Bowling Green, they gave one up last year. That could be the other hiccup, and that's the only one I had an asterisk. But
save that thought about Bowling Green.
They go at Bowling Green and at Michigan. So I don't know, man, but I'll take give me the over.
We both on the over. I like it already off top. We both on the over. I like it. Let's get into the next team. Let's get into the Ohio. The Ohio Bobcats. Win total of 7.5. They're in the East division of this conference. -122 to the over, +100 to the under. They're +330 to win the conference. When you look at net TARP, they're negative 0.5. That's just being -5 on the defense. But it kind of balances out because they're plus 4.5 on the offense. 75% of their line starts is back. Also, Tim Albine, he has I think the quarterback's Canadian, Curtis Rourke. They have one of their top receivers returning who had 73 catches. His name, I can't say his last name. I know his name's Sam. He had 73 catches for he had 11 touchdowns to go along with that.
Let me try to pronounce this.
Go ahead.
Let's see. Wiggles. I don't know. That was my best shot. Wiggles.
Fucking Chief Wiggums.
I can't wait to hear
Sam Chief Wiggums.
Correct pronunciation of that. That's funny.
They have 4 returning offensive linemen.
That's huge, man. You're only missing a guard.
They scored 31.8 points per game last year. So that's huge for your quarterback to be coming back, another playmaker on the outside, somebody he knows how to get the ball to, and the offensive line that can keep him clean. That's invaluable to a team that hopes to make some noise in the conference. The only problem is 6 D linemen departed from this team. And also, they did lose 2 safeties also in this team. So you lost 2 of your communicators on the back end, and you lose 60 linemen total. And I'll tell you one thing, that's a hard thing to replace. Whether it's by transfer portal, whether it's via draft, whether it's by graduation, losing 6 guys in one position, it can do a number on the team. As far as the win total goes, I'm inclined to take the over. I just think when you have this much firepower on offense in this conference, a lot of people have them favored to win the East. I don't. I think they exceed this win total, but I don't think they win.
What's the win total? I didn't hear you.
7.5. It was 7.5.
I got them right at 7. So I think I could. How much is it? I think I could go. I think I could get down with 7.5 because I have them at 7 written down. I think they could get that 7.5. I think for sure. One more win.
I see them as an 8-win team, 9-win team. Probably 9 wins. I can see it. I trust this quarterback. I trust the quarterback. I trust the weapons. I watched like 2 or 3 Ohio games last year. They're tough team. They're coached well. Just got to really get the defense to step up. You can score 31, but if the other team score 33, 34, 35, kind of a moot point. You feel me?
Yeah, well,
you got to be able to stop somebody. You got to. It's in the handbook. It's in the handbook of Big 12 football. Thou shalt not just play offense. I used to hate watching Big 12 games back in the day. Like, I didn't mind it so much. I liked watching Big 12 games, don't get me wrong. What I meant was, like, back in the day, you always had that Oklahoma hype and the Texas hype. You just knew none of them teams were going to win it because they couldn't play defense at the end of the day.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when they ran up against a school who could play defense, they always folded. They couldn't protect. And it was just, a never-ending cycle. So you got to be able to play some defense. Somebody get that newsletter. Somebody get that headline out to Ohio. You got to play some defense. Speaking of a team that needs to play some fucking defense, the Buffalo Bulls. Are they the Blue Bulls or are they just the Buffalo Bulls?
I think it's Buffalo. Hold on, where's Buffalo?
Maurice Linguist is the head coach.
Yeah, Buffalo. They're just the Bulls.
Well, listen. This team was full of bullshit last year. Yeah, they were full of bullshit. Their win total is 6.5. Is plus 104 to the over, minus 130 to the under. 61% of their line starts return. They're plus 700 to take the conference. When you look at net target, they're minus 1, and that just strictly comes from the defense. They're just 0 on the offense. So they are the top transfer team in the MAC. They brought in a bunch of transfers like nobody else utilized the transfer portal, like Buffalo. Doesn't always mean a good thing. Sometimes it takes those guys time to gel. Sometimes you're getting teams who these players just didn't want to put in the work and didn't want to work hard. Experienced offensive line, favorable schedule. The thing that has me wanting to take the over for this team is they had 26 turnovers last year. And they lost 4 one-score games. So I'm hoping for a little regression in that aspect of the team. 5 defensive starters to return. They gave up over 6 yards per play last year on defense. They returned the quarterback, the running back, and 3 out of 5 offensive linemen. The defense kind of scares me, but the favorable schedule and all the experience they have on offense has me thinking that this team has just enough to get over the 6.5 win total and get the 7. So I'll take the over on the Buffalo Bulls.
Oof.
Don't bullshit me.
I got them at 6, man. I got them at 6 wins. I don't know.
They can't get none of you.
I just don't know. They got returning starters on defense, but just like an all over the field. Like, they only return on the line, the tackles, the D tackles. They got 1 linebacker, 1 corner, and 1 safety. I mean, I guess that's enough to bring morale back, but I don't know. This team doesn't excite me at all. I'm going to be real with you. I see 6 wins tops. I see them losing like 4 in a row in the middle of the season. You got Louisiana, at Akron. I got them losing to Central Michigan and Bowling Green. So it's like 4 in a row.
You're gonna beat 3 of those 4 teams.
I hope for their sake, but
I hope for me.
It's tough. This is the 3rd straight team in a row that we've covered they won their bowl game. So I mean,
that's what the MAC do. That's just what the MAC does. They're just winners.
Coming off a decent 23-21 over Georgia Southern, that's pretty good. And anytime you win a bowl game, man, you bring that fucking morale back that next season, dude. There's always
bring a whole new other swag to your team. Man.
Yeah, of course, dude. Confidence. And so, winning a bowl game, I think that will definitely give them a little bit of hype going in. But I don't know, man. They don't excite me. I'll be real with you. They do not excite me.
Do the Buffalo? Would they excite you more if they were the Blue Bulls instead of just the Bulls?
The Buffalo Blue Bulls? No, because then it reminds me of Blue Balls. So I think that
point taken. Well, at least they'll always have Khalil Mack. You always have Khalil Mack.
They better have retired his jersey by now.
Put him in the ring. Name the field after him. Name the stadium after him. Name the stadium after him.
This university on the map.
Yes, he did. Let's talk about Miami. Not the Miami down there in Florida, guys. The other Miami, where the place you don't want to go vacation. Yeah, Miami of Ohio. All right, guys, here it is.
On ESPN, it's a Miami with the
OH beside it. That fucking ugly ass OH.
You see Miami like, hey, and you see the OH, you're like,
Just imagine that. You had a job, and they're like, yeah, man, you're going to get located to Miami. And we're going to pay for everything, you know what I'm saying? Send the whole family down. You're excited. And they're like, yeah. You're like, damn. I gotta go to Miami. I gotta get some, some warmer clothes. I mean, some, clothes for the warm weather and all this. And they're like, no, I don't think you want to do that. You might want to get some warm clothes, like some stuff for layers. And they're like, why? Oh, we're sending to you Miami or Ohio. Oh my God. Oh, fuck. You're like, fuck.
Nah, man. Ohio, dude, that shit, it snows like 6 to 7 months out of the year up there.
See, that's why I don't want to live anywhere northern than North Carolina. I don't want to stay past North Carolina.
No, man. No. Not at all.
If it gets colder than South Carolina and North Carolina, I don't really want to be there at all. I have no reason to be out in the cold like that. No. So when you look at this Miami of Ohio team in the East, this is my team to win the East. I know I'm taking a huge swing here. Let me give you...
Not that big. I'm kind of with you on this one.
Okay. That makes you feel a little better. Yeah. Plus 700 to win the conference. 6.5 is the win total. Minus 170 to the over. Plus 138, so a lot of juice for the over. 55% of the line starts. All right, for Chuck Martin's Miami Redhawks, this is the question. Can Brett Gabbert stay healthy? He's only appeared in 16 games over the last 3 seasons, but he's been effective when playing. So, if we can get a healthy Brett Gabbert and they can just take care of the ball, they have 2 wide receivers return. They have a transfer coming in from Notre Dame. The running back returns, and they have a couple guys who play. They're like gadget guys. They play receiver, running back. They have a lot of weapons. Net Tart, positive 4.5 on offense, 3.5 on defense, and that's where I point to give me my reason for thinking they'll win the conference. If we can get a healthy season, which is asking a lot, I get it. Guys played 16 games over 3 years. I'm kind of wondering how much eligibility he got left. Kind of sound like Frank Harris here. 9 starters returned on defense. 9 out of a team that was already pretty decent on defense. So you get 9 guys back on that defense. With the weapons they have on offense, they return over half their line starts. So if the offensive line can just stay above average and you can get the quarterback to stay healthy, you will be right there in the thick of it to align yourselves to play for the MAC East. You'll be right there competing with those teams.
Hell yeah, division title.
Do they beat Toledo? Probably not. Can they get there in the big dance of the conference championship game? Absolutely. Give me the Miami Redhawks to not only win this conference, not only go over their win total, but win the East. Not the conference, but to win the East. And there you go.
Division. Hey, bet it up. Yeah, I like this team. I got the over on the win total for sure. Dude, defense. You said 9 stars, dude. The defense, listen to these numbers, man. This is a top 35 scoring defense, a top 45 rushing defense, a top 80 passing defense. Not that great. But a 60th in the country in total defense. For a MAC.
Are we expecting like another year bump? So that pass defense could go from 80 to like 40 to 50. And the total go to like 40 to 50. Like, bro, they're right there. They're right there.
Dude, they're tied for like 12th in the country last year in turnover margin. I mean, this is like,
the stars are aligning.
2 wins away from like you said, man, possibly winning the damn conference. For sure winning the division.
I can't wait to clip this. I can't wait to clip this when they win the fucking East. I can't wait. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to just fucking drop our nuts on everybody's head once they win the East. It's like, bro, we tried to tell you. We gave you plus 700 value. I don't know what the odds are to win the East, but if they win the conference, we gave you plus 700 value. So don't say we didn't ever do anything for you. We literally just gave you plus 700 value. Let's get into another team. One of these directional schools. Let's go to Eastern Michigan. The Eagles. 7.5 the win total. Plus 100 to the over. Minus 122 to the under. 6.5 in net tarp. Minus 6.5 in net tarp because they are minus 7 on offense and 0.5 on to the positive on defense. Chris Creighton, you have your work cut out for you, sir. Your leading pass rusher is gone. You lost 3 offensive linemen. You lost 2 receivers, and you have a whole new quarterback. The only thing that should save this team is the fact that the defense should still be pretty okay. They returned pretty much everyone in the secondary, and they have 8 starters total on defense returning. So with that being said, I don't think this team is going to be horrible. I just don't think they get to 7.5. I have them right at 7. So if you get it at 7,
that's pretty cool.
I would leave it alone. I would honestly stay away. It's just too many questions on offense, and a good defense can only take you so far in this conference. Being on that they're in the West, where the West is kind of it's not terrible in the MAC, but it's not. They don't have anything. I got to see the quarterback. So I'm staying away from this. If I had to, I would go under because I don't think they can get to 8 wins.
No, yeah, I got them right at 7. This is a team that I like the defense. I'm a little scared of the offense, but I like the running back. Running back's pretty solid. They won their bowl game last year. This is another team. It looks like if a MAC team made it, they won their bowl.
Yeah, if you play the MAC, just hang it up. They're kicking your ass. They're coming to kick your ass.
Dude, this is
because you know why? Some of those games, some of them bowl games are just on non-traditional days, and the MAC is just used to it. They're like, "Fuck, we got to play a game on a Wednesday." The MAC, like we do that all the time.
Wednesday, yeah, man. Yeah, dude, I totally love that too. Yeah, this is. It's a dangerous team, man. I got them at 7. I don't have anything.
It wouldn't shock me if they won 8, but I can't personally say I think it's going to happen.
No, it's just another one of those you do all the research. You're like, good luck to them, man. I'm just so happy that we're supporters and fans of just like make these dudes because I just can't believe that people cheer for these teams, and it's like, oh my gosh.
You know the best part about these teams, man, is just finding like one of these teams that's actually okay to watch, or 2 of these teams playing and the game is really good, and you're just like, damn. There are bigger schools on, but here I am watching 2 MAC schools duke it out because the action is just that good. You know what I'm saying? Dude, they play good ball.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely good football. I think I watched a game or 2 last year. I'm going to definitely try to make it more of an effort to watch.
We'll.
Days we record during the season.
Probably Sunday night, just because recap show. After Saturday's action.
Sure, yeah.
And then more than likely, we probably need to record Wednesday night, just leading up to the Thursday games.
Yeah, true.
So it drops on Thursday, and people have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to sit with it. And then they get the preview show on Monday morning. They get the review show on Monday morning. If there's any MAC games on Tuesday, Wednesday, we can talk about them then. And it also gives me an opportunity on Monday night to record the football show. The NFL show. So I think it just kind of works. Sunday, Wednesday would be great. And it'll get us 2 times a week this year. So you got to be excited about that. And the energy level will go up, and the takes will go up, the hilariousness will go up. because we'll be in season and we're not sitting here trying to give you some information to help you kind of make a valuable futures bet, or just some valuable information for something to keep in mind when betting early in the season when you're trying to get an edge on the books. Any small measure of information or any little margin can help you for something you think isn't factored into the number, either in the futures market or in the game by game market until adjustments are made. We know week 0, week 1, and week 2, we know that the market's going to react. We know that it's not going to have all the information. Sometimes they're just late to it. I mean, most of the time, this is what these guys do. They have all the information. It's really going to be hard for you to get an edge on the books. But when you do, or you feel like you do, you got to ride with it. And maybe, hopefully, this podcast gives you the information to know, like, damn, this team is, they was talking about TARP, and you remember what I told you TARP stands for. And this team was negative in TARP on defense. You sitting up here, they playing against a team who's, returning everybody. They got a pretty good TARP. They were middle of the road last year, and you're like, they're big dogs. I think I'm going to ride with them. And you get you a good underdog win, you know what I'm saying? And then we clip the Gucci Man, I'm a dog, into the podcast, and then there we go. That's the hopes for the future of the pod. Northern Illinois. You remember when this team went to like a BCS bowl game? You remember that? And they got fucking shellacked.
Oh, yeah. They played E.J. Manuel, Florida State, 2012, if I'm not mistaken. It was the year after we got absolutely fucked in the ass by West Virginia. And
it was nice to see
another team take that shit. To be honest, dude, 70-33, man. I remember watching this shit. And we went down. It was the Andre Ellington fumble, dude. We're going to go up like 17-10 or 24-10, something like that. We're on like the 3. And basically it was a giant just jumble in the middle.
And they ran it back right before half.
And then it was right before the half. And it was one of those plays where everybody in the building's like, what just happened? What just happened? And then they're just celebrating in your face. And you're like, what the fuck just happened? And then that was a fumble. They took it 98 yards back to the house, and they proceeded to basically score 49 straight points or something like that in the second and third quarter. And then I remember I fell asleep. My dad, he gave up on the game. He went in the other room. I woke up. And I look at the score. I think I was facing the other way on the couch. I turned around and I saw 70-33. I looked at my granddad. I was like, "Granddad, is this real?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's real." I was like, "Damn!" I just went right back to sleep, bro. I did not. I couldn't, man. That one was a hard pill to swallow. There's been a couple. Florida State, Jameis Winston. That one was one of the harder ones to swallow. Dude, Clemson, man, we've taken some fucking losses, dude, back in the day. But, dude, it rose to the top real quick.
Yeah.
So I can laugh about this shit now because, I was a kid.
I was at Wild Wings when that game was going on. I was in high school. I'll never forget. I was at Wild Wings, and we were waiting on our table, and I remember looking up, and he ran that back. And then the next thing you know, they were running the score for y'all, man. And the guys in there were talking shit, the Clemson fans.
In a long time, if not ever, dude. Tavon Austin, Stedman Bailey, Geno Smith. That team had some dogs on it, man. I'm sure I'm leaving out a bunch of maybe defensive players that were great. I just remember just getting fucking, and then the joke all the way up until the next year was West Virginia scores again. West Virginia scores again. It's man, you fucking die, man. Fuck off with that shit. That took a long time to get over.
I had to hear App State for so long. Now upsets are so prevalent by small schools beating big schools that I don't have to hear it no more. But for like a long time, I had to hear about fucking App State. Like, and the thing about it is, I think App State won like the D2 championship that year. It was not like that team was scrubs. They legit had good players. They legit had like good players, and that was at the time when Michigan was transitioning and they didn't realize where the game was going. They needed to get faster. They were still recruiting like they were playing Wisconsin every week, and you're not. And Michigan would snap out of that for like fucking almost 20 years. Like, I'm telling you, like, bro, we did not realize the type of personnel we needed on defense for like 15 to 20 years. We were still drafting, like we were still picking up players and recruiting like we were playing Wisconsin every week, and it's not the case.
But yeah, this team, I don't know, man. They're poised to have a decent year, but not really. I mean, 3 wins last year, bottom of the barrel, and defense really basically in every statistical category except for rushing defense.
They had a terrible pass defense, like atrocious pass defense
in the country. 100th in the country.
That's the bottom third. Nowhere to go but up, Thomas Hammock. Nowhere to go but up. They're plus 1,100 to win this conference too. Their win total is 5.5. Minus 144 to the over, plus 118 to the under. What they do have going for them is they're plus 5.5 in net tart, plus 4 on offense, plus 1.5 on defense, and they do return 93% of their line starts. The problem is,
I love that.
Well, no, there's no problems, actually. I'm tripping. I was looking at the next team. I like them to go over this win total. You have a team that returns 93% of their line starts, their running back returns, and their quarterback, and they lost 5 games by 1 score last year. So if you can get a little bit of that, if you could take 2 of those wins and convert them and just be a better team overall. But this defense was pretty fucking bad. So if you could get them to improve, they have to improve. Like, you can't creep out with the 100th ranked pass defense. You got to get somewhere in the 60 to 70 range. They're getting over this win total, though. I can totally see this team as a 6-win team. This team's going bowling. Pack your bags, Northern Illinois. You're going bowling. I'll take the over.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir. Give me the over. I don't have much to say about this team other than they bring in a Notre Dame wide receiver to complement the quarterback. Haven't been to a bowl game in a couple of years. I think they get back to it, man. I mean, like I said, like their last league title I have it written down at 21. I mean, it's not. They had an off year, obviously, last year. Pretty bad. There's no other way to go but up. I know I keep saying that for certain teams, but this is just like there's teams that are just like, damn, you're going to be the same, if not worse. And then there's teams that like there's no other way than up. And I feel like this is an up situation.
Well, this situation with this next team, I feel is the exact same way. I feel like it's the exact same way. Jim McElwain's Central Michigan Chippewas. This is why there's no place for them.
Baby.
This is exactly why there's no place for the Chippewas. No place but up. They have 10 returning starters on the defense. This team did not turn the ball over 1 time last year on defense. Not a single turnover. They were minus 28 in the turnover department. If I'm correct, they don't think they had a single turnover last year. They're minus 3.5 in net tart and minus 7 on offense, plus 3.5 on defense. They have 3 returning offensive linemen, and they return 60% of their line starts. These guys do have 2 quarterbacks that are battling out. Ballard and his name's Burt. I think it's Emmanuel, but it's Burt. My thing about this team is this. The defense can't be any worse than it was last year. The offense can't be any worse than it was last year. Can they get the 5.5 wins with regression on the turnover department? They have to. Minus 28 in the turnover department is crazy. you turn the ball over 18 less times, you probably win. But if you're -7 offensively in TARP, and most of that TARP you do have returning is 3 offensive linemen, that means there's questions everywhere around those guys. I struggle to take the over for this team, just because that's a lot of that's a lot that needs to gel on offense for that to come together. I'm going to take the under. I think they finish right at 5 wins.
Yeah, I got 5. I have 4/5 wins for Central Michigan. Another one we wanted. You brought up Northern Illinois, their glorious BCS birth. Dude, Central Michigan, they beat Oklahoma State, like, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago? On a Hail Mary, like, last play of the game. Do you remember that?
So, last year, they played
3 years ago.
They played Oklahoma State. They played Oklahoma State like a year or two ago. Oklahoma State was kicking their ass, and they came back and covered the spread. They were getting beat by like 40, and they came all the way back and covered the spread.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like 2 maybe 3 years ago. It was like a Hail Mary situation. It was it was like a catch and lateral situation. And Buddy took it all the way to the house and shocked them, like, in there. I think it was a week 1 like loss for Oklahoma State. Like, that shit was crazy. And the Chippewas, man, it's a great name.
The Chips, the Chippewas, the Chippers,
dude, so.
The Chippewas. That's crazy.
We played these guys in Death Valley like 10 years ago. I remember that. Gave them a proper tail kicking. But I got them at 5 wins. There's no way they get over 6. There's just no way, dude. I don't see it at all. They have a tough, like, schedule, like the first 3. They're going to lose 2 of their first 3, if not lose them all, if they're not careful. This is a top 85 scoring offense from last year. Like, that's got to be better, obviously. And top 65 in total defense. I don't know, man. That's this conference, man. I don't know.
Oh no, where'd you? Okay, you went out for a second. You came back. You went out for just a second, but you came back. I just can't get this. I just can't get to it. I could see it now. If they do go over, that means they had a lot of gel on offense, and it's just something we couldn't get a hold on, because that's just a lot of trust to put in the offensive unit to be able to get it together after you, like you said, they play a tough schedule, especially a tough early schedule. So you have to go through that early part of your schedule without getting too beat up to be able to get the confidence you need and the continuity and everything else you need on offense. And I'm just not willing to get down with it.
And for teams like this, like, it's a bowl game is everything to them. And I feel like you gotta win 2 of those first 3 or 4. I mean, at least you gotta win 2.
Who's the last team they play?
Last team is Toledo.
Yeah, if it comes down to 5 wins and they got to play Toledo the last one, you better hope. Well, Toledo could have everything wrapped up. Toledo could have everything wrapped up by the end. The week before,
at Ohio, and then Toledo at home.
Yeah,
that's a horrible way to wrap the season up, dude.
Sorry, Central Michigan. Play again next year.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Let's talk about the Zips. Let's talk about them Zips. Let's talk about them Zips. Them Akron Zips. Them Zips. Them Zippers. Them whole things. The Akron whole things. Plus 2,900 to win the conference. 71% of their line starts return. 3.5 the win total. Minus 162 to the over. Plus 132 to the under. They're -1 in TARP. Net TARP. They're negative 1.5 on defense. So that's where it comes from. It comes from their positive 5 on offense, 0.5, I mean. They lost 5 close games last year by 1 score. 5 one-score games last year. So Joe Moorhead, the fighting Moorhead, Zips. DJ Irons returns at quarterback. Good dual threat guy. Can do a lot with his legs. Can make plays with his arm. But there's only so much you can do when you allow 56 sacks. That's what this team is facing, man. Just not talented. 56 sacks in one season. You got to wonder if DJ even makes it through the whole year. They gave up 33.5 points per game. Even though they have a lot of returning starters overall, this team has to improve this year greatly. And I think they do. 3.5, I think, is a very winnable win total for this team. I think this team gets past the mark, and I don't think you have to sweat it out to the last game because I think this team actually is more like a 5-win team. They're terrible on defense, but I think they could win some games.
So you got them in the over?
Yeah, I got them in the over. Even if they just get 4 wins, that's perfect.
I'm struggling with the 4.
You can take the Zippers.
I'm wrong. I don't think so. I feel like they're going to lose like 7 in a row in the middle of the season. They basically did just that. Hold on, I got them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They lost 9 in a row last year. So they won week 1 and then just lost 9 in a row. They proceeded to lose 9 in a row.
That's
and
wild.
then win at Northern Illinois. And then lose a heartbreaker 1-point loss to Buffalo in the season finale. This is a team that's 125th in the country in rushing. I just think that's an abysmal statistic. That's just horrible.
That's crazy.
106th in scoring offense. That's still better than Iowa, dude.
Iowa been catching strays every podcast.
Yeah, they're going to catch.
Until they come out and put the ball in the end zone. Until they come out week 1 and put that ball in the end zone at least 3 times. Until they score 3 touchdowns in one game, we're going to be on their head. Yeah, 3 offensive touchdowns, not special teams or defense.
Yeah, those count, but not for us. Not for us. They bring in a nice little running back transfer. I like that for Miami. It should complement the quarterback, who, might I add, is wearing number 0. That's going to be pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I'm still getting used to that 0 number, man. I'm not going to lie to you. The NFL, dude, Brian Burns switched to 0, and I don't know.
Sean Murphy Bunting is wearing it for us. I like it, but you got to be raw if you go with 0. You got to be raw.
Oh, yeah. Well, Brian Burns, I will say, is raw, but
he's raw, so he can wear it.
Yeah, I like this 53. I thought 53 was pretty cool. He made it cool.
I like single digits on pass rushes. I just always do.
Really? Mm-hmm. I think if you're not 7 or 9 or 8, 7, 8, 9, if you're not like those numbers, I don't understand. I don't understand, man.
That was
maybe number 5 or maybe number 3. We got a defensive end right now, Xavier Thomas. He's number 3. That guy's been with us for like 8 years, but he's had these medical red shirts, so he should be starting for us. But yeah, man, I ain't got much on Akron, dude. I think
the Zippers, the Zips.
I'm flirting with that. I don't know. I may take the under. I'm not even gonna lie.
Take it.
Yeah.
I like.
I'll just take
it.
Okay. If we win, we win. We lose, we lose. Like it.
If we get dealt with, we get dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Ball State plus 4,000 to win the conference. This team is minus 0.5 in TART, plus 1 on offense, minus 1.5 on defense. This team faces an uphill battle. Mike Newell, they face an uphill battle. Not only do they play Kentucky and Georgia, which is going to physically beat this team up.
Back to back, week 1 and 2.
They lost all their linebackers. No, I'm sorry. No, they lost their whole secondary. They returned all their linebackers. But the problem is they could not stop the run last year. So even returning all 4 of the guys that played in the 3-4, they couldn't hit no fucking body. They didn't bring anybody down. They didn't penetrate the backfield. They lost their quarterback, their running back, and 2 receivers. and they allow 182 rush yards per game. This team, it boils down to this. I'm taking under the win total of 5.5. It's plus 138 for the over, minus 170 for the under. The reason why I'm taking the under is this. The defense isn't going to be any good. You just lost all your linebackers and you lost your secondary. I mean, I'll get that wrong. You got your secondary, but you lost your secondary. You got all your linebackers back. Well,
your front seven's there, but
for a team
what matters,
they gave up 182 rushing yards. It don't matter how good your pass defense was. You're just going to get ran on. And when you're not getting ran on, you could get play action. So, is your fight? It's just that Kentucky and that Georgia game early in the season. It's just fuck, man. This team is just really fucked. And you know another stat I found out. This team lacks explosiveness, and they have to find it. Over the last 2 years, they've only scored 10. They've only had 10 plays of 40 yards or more. They just don't make explosive plays. So for that, I'm going to take the under. I'll smash under hard. I'll smash a hard on the under. I think this is my favorite bet of the whole conference, under. Ball State under 5.5. It's my favorite bet of the whole conference.
No, I'm at 5. I am at 5. That defense, it's kind of funny, man, because you got your front seven, but if you can't cover the pass, the fuck's the difference, man? I don't know, dude. This is a funky conference for me, man. I got to get a little bit more familiar with. I only got them at 5. There's no way. I don't think so. They're going to get beat to shit after week 2. They go to Larry Bird's alma mater, and hopefully, or they host them, and hopefully they can get themselves a good win because they're going to play Georgia Southern the next week and potentially go down 1-3 to start. Good luck to them. Seriously, good luck to them. That's all I got on Ball State.
You damn right. You're damn right. Good luck to him.
104th in the country in rush defense.
Oh, my gosh. With 4 returning linebackers on a team that lost their whole secondary but couldn't stop the run already. So, it's going to be bad.
I will say, based on what I've got, I feel like this is going to be a fun year in MAC.
I feel like this is going to be some of the best betting opportunities are going to come from the MAC.
This is wild, dude.
So Western Michigan's next. They're plus 4,500 to win the conference. Win total of 4.5. Minus 172 to the over. Plus 100 to the under. They're minus 2.5 in net tart. Most of that comes from defense, where they're minus 5. They're positive 2.5 on offense. They returned 5 offensive linemen for Lance Taylor's Broncos. They have a new offense coordinator. I
love all that.
The problem is this offense, they returned 50%. They returned 5 O-linemen. They don't have a quarterback that's any good on the roster. Both of the quarterbacks that played last year completed under 50% of their passes. That's like
looks like they may give a freshman a chance to start this year too.
That's like C-team level passing, like completion percentage. They had a couple guys transfer. One of them was a running back and one of them was a receiver. One went to Syracuse and one went to
Virginia Tech. Was it Virginia Tech? Because I got their running back, or one of their running backs.
It was
from. Oh, excuse me. He is from. I wrote from. Not to. Let's see.
I don't know. I don't say. I know they only returned 2. I know they returned 2 starters on defense also. So
yeah, 2 defense. Dude, it sucks because that was a top 50 defense in the country last year.
Yeah, and the worst part about it is you're going to need them to be that awesome because both these quarterbacks stink. They can't complete 50% of their passes. So the defense is going to have a lot of times where they have to get back on the field after 3 and outs, and with 2 returning starters, that kind of puts a squeeze on old Lance. I'm with you. I'm with you on the under. I'm with you right there. I don't have this team going over.
They're going to lose 5 in a row after week 1, in my opinion. Oh my God, they're going to lose 5 in a row. They're going to go 1-0. They're going to lose at Syracuse. They're going to lose at Iowa somehow. They're going to lose at Toledo. They're going to lose a heartbreaker to Ball State. And then they're going to go at Mississippi State, the SEC. They're going to lose 5 in a row. And then they're going to come home and host Miami of Ohio. And for some reason, I got them going a W right there. But they'll probably lose that one. Then you go
my Red Hawks.
That's a loss. Eastern Michigan. I got them winning that one. I got them winning against Central. But then Northern Illinois, I got them catching an L. And then Bowling Green, I got them as a toss-up. So it's like 3 to 4 wins, man. Tops. Tops. There's too much loss on D.
I'm staying away.
Top 50 defense last year and only bring 2 of those guys back. This yikes.
I'm staying away.
Screaming yikes.
I'm staying away.
Excuse me.
But speaking of Bowling Green, you want to talk about them next?
Hell yeah.
We only got 2 teams left. Let's talk about Bowling Green, and we'll get Ken straight out the way right after. We'll do it real quick. Plus 4,500, Bowling Green is to win the conference. Plus 1.5 in TARP. That all comes from offense. 4.5 is the win total. Plus 108, minus 132. There's a 3-way quarterback battle for this job right now. Orth, Basillock, and Doplin. All those guys are battling out for the starting quarterback.
Him and Orth.
He probably has the inside track. He has previous starting experience. Yeah, they returned 4 offensive linemen. They named hold on, what did I say? No, it's Menard was that other quarterback's name that's battling out.
Okay.
The 2 top receivers returned for this team, but this team was bottom 3rd in the nation in rush defense and pass defense. They have a new defense coordinator for Scott Loafers. I don't know how to say it, but they do return 7 starters, and 5 wins were of 1 score last year. So I'm expecting some regression from this team. And even though they returned 7 starters, it's still a new defense coordinator implementing a new scheme. And even if it still was a bottom 3rd team in the nation. So it's only so much that defense is going to improve. You know what I'm saying? Under the tutelage of the new defense, even if it improves. But still, you got a 3-way quarterback battle at the top. I'm inclined to take the over. Something tells me to take the over, but I just can't trust a team with a bottom 3rd rush defense and pass defense.
Fuck. We were 90th or worst on defense in every statistical category.
Man, you know what? Give me 5 wins, man. They get there, man. Give it here. They get there.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm going to ride with you, man. I'm going to ride with you, dude. But they better step it up, man. They better bring it back. And then offense, they weren't much better. You got 97th in scoring. You got 120th, which is bottom of the barrel in rushing. Barely eclipsing 100 yards. They lost their bowl game. That was something big time. I was like, oh, damn. Lost the bowl game. So I think this is the first team that we covered in the MAC that lost their bowl game last year.
Fucking disappointment. Fucking fuck ups.
Huge disappointment, man. Huge disappointment. And then no one has a clue on the quarterback situation.
Still don't have a starting name, I don't think.
No, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. So we shall see. That Connor, that Bazelak dude, that dude's like a 2-year starter at Missouri.
He's probably going to end up getting a start.
Yeah, you got him too. And then Orth going back and forth that. Like, who knows, man?
I'll tell you what I know. I know what team is going to finish dead last. The Golden Flashes of Kent State. Minus 15,000 to win the conference. Minus 12 net tarp. 7 on the offense and 5 on defense. So they just lost everybody. Attrition hit hard. Ken Burns. They have 0 starters returning on offense.
Yeah, that's a brand new unit, man. That's so sketch, man. That is so sketch. On an offense that wasn't bad. It wasn't.
They returned 4 starters on D, but 3 of them played on the D line. 41% of their line starts. I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time talking about a team like this. And some people find it disrespectful. I call it just being good at what I do and understanding the people. Nobody gives a shit about Kent State. They are going to probably be one of the 5 worst teams in the whole country, and I'm going under 2.5. I don't think they get the 3-1. Well, you're really hard to bet under on these fucking MAC teams because they could just one game come out and be amazing. But when you have 0 returning starters on offense, that means you're working the transfer portal. I'm going to take the under. I think they get right at 2 wins.
I'm with you on that. Give me the under because this is possibly, like you said, like it's the bottom of the barrel of college football. 5 wins last year. That shit's gonna be tough to even come close. But if they do, like, fucking all power to them, man. That would be great for them. I love that they got the Charger helmets. That's pretty cool. But other than that,
fuck Kent State. Fuck Kent State. They're not worth the analysis. I got down to the last team, Kent State, and I was like, I'm not spending more than like 2 or 3 little tidbits of information on this team. Nobody needs that. They're plus 15,000. If you're gonna, let's get real here. Who wants to spend time talking about them? Is that the what?
I feel like, is that the worst odds to win the conference that we've covered this year so far?
I'm not sure, but I know
20,000. I can't remember.
I'm not sure, but I know it's definitely the consensus team amongst people to finish last or finish with one of the worst records in the college. So that's it, man. That's the MAC fun team. A lot of overs. I think I took a lot of overs, so it's kind of hard not to. Let's do a quick Glory Day segment.
Oh yeah, all right.
Let's do a quick Glory Day segment. Let's do a quick one. Okay. Let me see. All right. Oh, yeah. Pick 6. I was going to tell you about the pick 6.
Hey,
all right.
Yeah.
So when I was it junior? Was it sophomore? Was it my sophomore year? Was it my junior year? It was my junior year. When I was a junior, we had. When I was a junior, was this a Wednesday? I felt like it was a Wednesday because the JV kids weren't there. So a lot of the people that would run some scout wasn't there. No. The day doesn't matter. Just know I was playing D-line for the longest, and I just came out, and I was like, man, I refuse to come back out. We're working on offense. We're working on some stuff. I refuse to come back out and get back on that D-line. Like, I don't play, like, so many snaps. So they really didn't care who was playing defense out there at the time. They were just working on some things. Mostly, like, they was just switching the tempo. They was just doing different things. And they started to throw the ball a little bit more. So I went out there, and I can't remember who was at corner, but they let me take their spot at corner. And our starting quarterback, our starting quarterback. I was on the left side too. Our starting quarterback, he was the coach's nephew, and I mean that's not really relevant to the story. I don't really like hate on him. Like a lot of people back in the day, they had ill will towards him and stuff. He's a pretty cool guy, man.
Well,
Like
sure.
But he wasn't a quarterback. Let's just say that he had a strong arm and all that, but he really wasn't a quarterback. He did go on to do other sport though, like a whole other sport. But that's within the question. This ain't got anything to do with his skill level or anything. So they came out and they ran a play, and I want to say they threw it, and I was like right down picking it. Like I was like, damn, if I'd actually been playing, I would have picked it. So I was, keep running plays. They running like goals and shit, like fucking around. So one play, I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna play this shit for real. Like I'm trying to pick it. So Hakeem comes out there and he runs a deep out, like 10, 15 yards. And man, like, I hit him with the back pedal and the quarterback caught it back and he threw it. And I was just like, oh, I don't think he don't understand. Like I have elite, like closing ability on the ball. Like pick it up, take it to the crib. Everybody go crazy. Coach ends practice. He makes us run. He was kind of pissed. I think he was, and it was just like, I don't even understand why he's pissed. I guess he was pissed because like I picked it. Like, yeah, he running plays to try to get some work in on offense, but I mean, make a better throw. Just make a better throw.
Did you make a better throw? Did you play the play?
Like, what you mean?
Did you know? So like,
I didn't know. No,
they say don't play the play, meaning like you already know where it's going. Don't overplay it.
No.
Know, like, all right, they throwing this route every single time. I'm gonna take advantage. Or did you just like, yo, I'm gonna try to throw some skill in here.
No, because I had been out there for like a few different snaps, like at least like 8 to 10 snaps of playing corner. Like they're running post, they running goals, and I'm actually out here like chasing the receiver. But this was just one play where like I wasn't even like 15 yards back. Like I was like a couple yards back, and I just like, man, my back pedal was just like that. And like when he broke down, I just knew it was an out. Like I just knew it was an out. Like the quarterback had already opened up his hips and all, so I just drove on it, picked it, took it to the crib. Everybody ran to the end zone with me, and like coach started blowing the whistle, and we had to start running. And I felt like we had to run simply because I picked his nephew off. He wasn't happy, but that's neither here nor there. So that's my glory days moment. That's just my glory days moment of letting you guys know if I had the body type to be a DB, I would have been prime time basically. My name's Dion, and I would have been prime time. I would have been just like him. I have elite coverage ability. I really do.
No, I love that. I kind of blanked on my glory day, but you talking about picks? I had a couple tips like on JV year from the line, batting down, or like tipping it off of a throw, but. I played flag football for a really good team. We had Marcus Lattimore's brother. I cannot remember for the love of me his name. I don't remember his name, but we had Marcus Lattimore's brother, and then we had this dude from Miami. I don't even remember his name. This shit was ages ago, but this was college. This was like this was college. This was like 2012. Somewhere like that, and we played against a team that like, dude, we were in like a grown man league. I don't know how to even describe this, but like, I'm talking like former NFL football players. I ain't talking stars. I'm talking like NFL athletes. Like this team that we were going up against, this dude played for the Buffalo Bills. I don't remember his name. He was a small dude, but he was so fast and athletic. Could jump out of the gym if he wanted to. And so I played corner on D for this flag football team. We're called the Thundercats. This was like I said, like 2012, 2013, and I remember for some reason I had to cover the guy from the Buffalo Bills, and I was like, "Hey, yo, what the fuck? Where? How did this math work out?" And I was because I remember lining up and him breaking the huddle and him coming over to my side. I was like, "Whoa!" I was like looking around, like, "Yo, whoa!"
That's when you start going to the safety. That's when you start going, "Hey,
yeah, I need some over the top help." And so they're like, "You got it." I was like, "Well,
no the fuck I don't."
Let's do this." And so they call the guy snaps the ball, and this dude immediately like attacks the sideline going up. And then for some reason, dude, I was kind of with him. He was obviously a little ahead of me, but I had a hand on him. Like I knew where he was. And then something told me to like turn around before like, they'll say ball or like pass or, whatever. And something told me to look around, and he threw that shit so it was like a 50-50, but homeboy was running for the end zone, bro. He was running for days, so I reacted way quicker than he did. So I caught a pick on him, and I remember taking that shit back probably like 25 yards, and him getting frustrated and almost like low-key tackling me. And I just let it go because I was like, oh my God, I just caught a pick. Let's fucking go. And then the same game, I caught another one. I caught 2 picks that game. I will say, I'm not even gonna lie, the quarterback threw that shit right to me, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how I didn't drop it because it was so like, dude, my eyeballs were like this big because he's rolling out, and I'm kind of playing like a spy situation, and I'm just making sure he's not gonna take off, and then we had somebody just blitz his ass out of nowhere, and he didn't see it to the last second, and so he's like, oh shit, and just threw it, and I was just like, oh my God, scoop, and I took that shit like 40 yards the other way, and I'm like, dude, that was probably like the hypest I ever been, like second.
He's like, let's fucking go,
because they gave me like one of the hardest assignments, and I like stepped up to the plate. I don't know how I did it. Still to this day, I don't know how I did it.
Because you're a baller, man.
I had
you're a baller.
2 picks in one game.
2 picks, 1 game, baller.
I will try to get that dude's name for the Bills. I don't remember. He was small. He looked like a Deuce Vaughn. You know who Deuce Vaughn is?
Yeah. Play for the Cowboys. He got drafted by the Cowboys. He went to Kansas State.
Yeah. It was like him. Could like, dude, jump out of the gym, man. And for some reason, I was tasked with guarding him that game, dude. I just don't remember how or why that came about. But once that was it, I didn't play much on offense. I was like mainly a defensive player out there because we had too many skill players, and if the skill guys didn't get the ball, they're the ones that traveled out of their way to come play, get the ball, and perform. Which like I didn't care, man. We ended up winning. I think I played on that team 2 years out of the 4 that they played, and I won 1 championship with them, I think. Can't remember if we won the championship.
Ring season, baby.
Yeah, I didn't play that much, but I did perform in that one game where I had 2 picks. Which the first one I was like hype as fuck about. The second one I was like, oh my God, I'll take this shit. It looked like he was trying to sail that thing, and when I tell you, like, he was dealing with contact, and he threw that shit right to me like we was playing catch, man, in the yard. It was magnificent. Dude, I'm telling you,
it's the best.
But that's my girl today. It's a little flag football action for you. But
you know what?
I got some coming, dude. I'm gonna save these for the ACC and the SEC days. I got some big Kevin Dodge shit I'm loving to bring to the pod, but I'm gonna save them for when we get into the big boys this week.
I got more stories too. We get to the big squad. Like the next story, I already know. I'll tell. Since you told the interception story, I'll tell about the time we played. We played pickup football. We used to play every weekend, 7-on-7, like every weekend for like almost a decade.
Tackle or
no, we played 2-hand touch, and this was like
okay.
Everybody knew like this was like a thing for like 7-8 years. We used to play all the time.
That's so cool.
We would play like. Yeah, like a good, like I got people that still hit me up like, bro, when we gonna start playing again? We played like 3 months ago. One time, they still asking like, can we get back out there? Um,
That's awesome.
I used to tell people like,
That's
I
awesome.
want to come play, and I used to be like, bro, like you might want to get some cleats. Like we legit out there. But one time,
Shit.
one time, Connor, one of his really good friends' brother, his little brother, went to was really good friends. I don't think he went to school with him. I don't know how he knew him, but his little brother of Connor's like one of his really good friends was really tight with Ronnie Bass's son from Remember the Titans, like Sunshine. So
Yeah.
Sunshine's son came up
Ronnie
here
Bass.
and
Ronnie Bass.
he came
Oh
up here and
man.
played with us. And he was pretty cool, but he was talking shit like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna drop bombs on y'all. I picked him twice, but we'll talk about that like the next. Yeah, I picked him
Yeah,
twice,
he's
and I told him I was gonna get him at least
cool
once,
as
but I got him
hell.
twice. I got him twice. I had to have him twice. It
No
was
fucking
we used to get it
way.
in on the weekends. It used to be fun. Oh my
That's
god.
so cool because you watch that movie. I'm gonna ask you a question after I say this, but you watch that movie and it tells you like the main characters that were on the team, like what happened to them, where'd they go, and yeah, man, Sunshine, dude, he like either moved to Greenville or
Mm-hmm.
he's from Greenville. I can't remember the exact story, but it was like went to USC and lives in Greenville. I'm like, yo, where's he at, bro? Like
Where the
that's
USC
crazy.
lives in Greenville, and creator, one of the creators of this podcast picked my son off twice in a pickup football game. You need to put that in this wiki. That needs to go in his wiki. I picked this son off twice, and we beat him, too. So,
Heck
I
yeah.
honestly, I think I outdueled him because I think I was the quarterback on the other side. So I outdueled him too. So yeah, put that on my
Okay.
resume. I outdueled him.
Fair
I
enough,
outdueled him.
man.
I
Dude,
invite
I think
any former high school or college quarterback out there. I outdo you. I outdo you because I'm Phillip Rivers in the flesh. I'm Phillip Rivers in the flesh. Without the back breaking turnovers at the end of the game, I'm gonna win the
I
game.
love it.
I
I
always do.
love it, dude. Dude, I
Uh,
think this is the thing I was gonna ask you, dude. What's the greatest football movie of all time?
any given Sunday, that's me. I just love any given Sunday. I
Oh,
just
that's a
do.
great one.
I love
Oh,
everything
that's a
about it.
great
I
one.
love
I
the
think Remember the
music.
Titans is
I love the
is
cast. I love the cast. I love the storyline. Um, I do.
how's that song go? How's that Jamie Foxx song go?
My name is Willie. Willie Beeman.
Willie
I keep
B.
the ladies creaming. And on my fans be screaming. Think you can defeat me? You're dreaming. I used to love
Oh
that
my
shit. I
god,
love
dude.
that shit.
Bro, that is such a great movie. How about when
Oh,
that
it's
dude's
so
eye
good.
pops out in the championship
I
or the
watched
playoff,
it.
wherever that was?
Man, you know what?
Dude,
Man,
his
listen,
eye
I've been
pops
saying
out.
I was going to get in to start watching movies on Saturday and Sunday mornings during because I got
Dude.
one more Sunday to work before the season starts. I got next Sunday, and then I'm off on every Sunday. I'm done helping them out. So, I might start watching a little cinema. And I'm going to watch any given Sunday, like in the next week or two, just because I love that movie, man. I
Dude, look
love it.
for it, man. Dude,
I
Al
love it.
Pacino, man. He is
But
fucking dude, star studded, bro. LL Cool J is the running back. Come on, man. Looking like Sean
T.O.
Alexander.
was in that movie, bro. T.O. was in that movie.
T.O. was in that movie. And he reenacted his San
Lawrence Taylor
Francisco
was in
catch
that
where he's
movie.
crying.
Lawrence
Lawrence
Taylor was in that
Taylor.
movie.
Oh my god, he was beautiful in that movie. Dude, that was like that was perfect Lawrence Taylor, dude. Like
Jim Brown was in that movie.
prime dude, Jim Brown the coach,
I don't
man.
give
Oh
I don't
man.
get heart attacks, motherfucker. I give them. Um,
Or how about the he needed the one more sack to get that $1 million bonus, and they had to shoot his ass up with that
he was like, "Don't drop me. I'm worth
whatever.
$1 million."
Yeah, with $1 million. Can you believe that, man?
That's the way it
Dude,
is,
people
man.
really go out there for statistics like that, man. Like,
Mhm.
I need like one more catch for like 50 grand. Like, you better throw my fucking way, asshole. I need 50.
You've seen plenty.
But I need
I've read and heard plenty of podcast stories of players saying that like a team fucked them over the last game of the season by not giving them enough touches or enough targets to hit their bonus. You know, and that's why like certain players like they love their quarterback because they quarterback like Brady. Remember his year with the Bucks, he was letting everybody get their bonus. He was making sure everybody got their bonus.
Yeah, Gronk especially.
You got to make sure you take care of Gronk.
For sure.
But you know what? Somebody need to take care of us and make sure we get our bonus. And on that note,
come on, bro.
I'm going to get my 5 hours of sleep before 5 o'clock gets here.
Was it 11:15?
Yeah, man. I got to sacrifice, man. I got to figure something out. I got to start back going to the gym in the morning. So, like, you know.
What time do you have to be at work?
6.
Okay.
So, you know, usually I would go to the gym, but, like, I kind of do be having this window, man, since we typically don't be starting till 10:30. So, I'll figure it out tomorrow, man. I've been slacking. I'm still going on the weekends, but I still need to go 5 days a week. I like going 5 days a week. But,
okay.
Then this has been another installment of the Saturday Showdown. I think this might be one of our best shows so far. We're just getting better every time. Oh, dang, man. Look a little nice in the light. That look a little nice. You know, I'm going to take these off and I'm going to go to bed. I can't lie. This was a fucking fantastic pod. Lots of information. Lots of information for you to be a smarter, better, and to be a more informed, better when making a decision. I think we laid out, you know, some great points. I still riding with Toledo in the West, and I'm still riding with Miami of Ohio in the East to make it to the conference championship games. I think Chip's riding with the same. I think we're both on the same there.
Yeah, they're going to take it off. Hold on real quick before I get off. Yeah, Toledo. I had to check the notes real quick. Toledo.
No show tomorrow.
Money.
No show tomorrow. We'll be spending our time getting information ready for you guys and getting ready to crank out the last couple ones. The Fun Belt, Sun Belt's up next, followed by Conference USA. So going into next week, you guys will start to get the big boys again. So bear with us through the rest of the week. Let us kind of service these smaller, lesser-known schools. Still fun to talk about. And then next week, we'll get to the big boys like you guys want. I love you, dude. You're the man. 5-star reviews. 5-star. 5 stars.
Like this shit. Subscribe.
Review this shit. Subscribe this shit. Like, don't have us, like, we're not going to beg, but don't have us out here talking shit about you, you know. Don't have us out here pointing our finger at you saying you're the hater because you didn't give us 5 stars.
Yeah, y'all can say what you want. Just give us that like, man.
And share it.
And share
it. 5-star, you know. Costs nothing, you know.
Costs nothing.
I want you to tomorrow, I want all of you who listening to this to put somebody new on it. That's your assignment. That's your assignment, and I promise you, we gonna keep it pimping over here on the Saturday show. I can promise you that, brother. All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, man. You too, bro. Get some sleep, man. We'll holler at
you. Peace.
All right, brother. Peace.
Peace.